Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. We are doing some advanced chair work today. Really good stuff, really challenging stuff. There should only be, I say should, but of course you can adjust. We're only gonna be doing 2 spring changes today. You don't need a mat. The one thing that you will need is a wall. Okay, so at some point today, closer to the end of class, we'll be placing our feet up against the wall for a few things. Yeah, it's going to be good today. Good stuff. So 2 middle springs. So I have 3, really 6 spring settings. So I have my spring set in the middle. If you have 4 spring settings, I want you to place your springs, 2 springs, second from the top, right? So exo chair, if it's labeled number 3, maybe, I think that's how they do it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 on those second from the top, and that's it. Let's get moving. So starting with footwork, I want you to place all 10 toes on, heels together, toes apart. If that doesn't work for you, right, find parallel. I feel like that's typically a safe way to go. So let's just start by pushing the pedal down. Okay, so I'm gonna push the pedal down, and here's where I'm gonna get my hips sorted, meaning they're either in the center or maybe a little bit closer to the front edge. And I'm just gonna wiggle my bottom around and just feel that I've got equal weight down into my hips. I'm gonna take my arms down by my side here, and I'm gonna hug in on the chair. So they're reaching down and hugging in. My toes are wrapping up and over, and I'm gonna think of sitting up so tall that I feel my waistline stretch, and I feel like my legs are already starting to kick on because I felt like that pedal wanted to kick me up. All right, I'm gonna keep the length out through the crown of my head, and I'm just gonna pull the pedal in and then press it down. Pull the pedal in and press it down. So the pedal does not have to go full range. In fact, if you're on one of those really tall chairs and you're petite or more on the petite side, when you go all the way down, you might feel like your bottom lifts up a little bit. Just go mid-range, right? That's okay. So again, when you're pumping, you're trying to keep the arms engaged, the upper back, upper body super stable. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the pedal up to like midway, shift onto your arches. Legs can either be zipped up or slightly apart. Now, before we do anything, I want you to flex at the ankle to push your heels down to the floor, but keep your toes curling up and over. Ooh, I feel like my arch just started to cramp there. Now push the pedal down, and as you pull the pedal up, heels push down, 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 down. Inhale down, exhale, pull it into you. So as you pull the pedal up, and one extra thing here, think of sticking the booty out because the temptation is to round. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now find that halfway point, shift onto your heels. Again, legs are either zipped up or slightly apart. Lift all 10 toes up to your shins, and now interlace your fingers. Take your hands behind your head. Push the head up and into your hands. All right, elbows are in your peripheral. And now pull the pedal into you as it lifts up, and then push the pedal down. Exhale up, inhale down. Gaze is slightly forward, or is forward, sorry. And think of those front ribs softening into your back, all while keeping that head to hand connection. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Lift the pedal up halfway, hold here. Straighten your right leg out, keeping equal weight into your hips, and now pump the pedal here. Little baby pumps. That right leg is razor straight. I don't care if it's high or low. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Stabilize the pedal, heel comes down. Right leg or left leg straightens out. Reach it further away from you. Pump the pedal here. Weight is right into the center of that heel. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Place the heel down. Shift back onto your toes. Heels are a little lifted. Right leg straightens out. Hold here. Just hold it here. Hold it here. And now lift the pedal up and push it away. Little pumps. Think of a push-pull action happening. Keep the head to hand connection for 3 2, 1. Right leg comes down, left leg goes out. Pump the pedal. Equal weight into your hips. Keep growing taller, taller, taller. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Stabilize the pedal. Toe comes back on. Take your hands on top of your thighs here, okay? So your thighs are going to stay still. The pedal is going to move. Flex your feet and point your toes. Flex your feet and point the toes. Think of there being magnetic energy between your inner ankle bones, and that should help to keep the weight balance across your toe pads. For 3, feel those toes wrap up and over. And last one. All right, now the pedal is going to stay still and your thighs are going to move. So hands can go back behind your head, head pushes up and into your hands. We point and then we flex. Point and we flex. Again, pedal stays as stable as you can get it. And when you think of the ankle flexing, like you're pushing the heels down with intention, that should help kind of limit the shake. Let's do 3 and 2. Keep the head to hand connection. Last one, lift the heels up and now press the pedal down. All right, press it all the way down if you can. All right, keep the pedal down, keep the hug of the inner thighs together and just lift and twist to the left. Lift, 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 and back through center. We lift and twist to the right. Think of those ribs pulling in, and back to center. Oh, thought I was going to get a pop there. Lift and twist to the left. Hold here in your twist. Right elbow goes up and over to your right knee. Equal weight into your hips. Lift that left elbow up higher and then stack all the way up. Lift and twist to the right. Left elbow, left knee. Pull the ribs back as you round up and over. Push the head back more, y'all, more, and then come all the way up. All right, now we add on a little bit more. So twist to the left, right elbow, left knee, okay? Now as you go up and over, bring your left knee up to that elbow. Push the pedal away, and then place it down, come back to center, other side. We twist, elbow to knee, equal weight into your hips, and then back to center. One more time each side. Ooh, keep that pedal down. Up and over, hug the inner thighs. Back to center. Last one, up and over. Oh, that feels so good. Place the feet down, take the arms down, take them to the front edge of your chair. Okay, so I got the heel of my hand firmly connected here. I'm going to go back to that little Pilates V. If that's not for you, again, find parallel, okay? So I'm going to push into my hands. I'm going to drop my head and straighten my legs. And I'm just going to stay here for a second. And I'm just going to find the lift up through my abs, up through the back. And then from here, keep the heels high. Start to bend into the knees. Hips are going to go forward. And now drive the hips up. Puff up the chest now. Just make this feel good. And then drop the head, pull the ribs back, kind of undulate the spine back through your arms. And then hold here. Just hold. Think of dropping that tailbone down and then bend into the knees. Knees come forward. Drive the hips up. Find a stretch across the chest. Maybe lift the heels up higher. And then drop the head. Pull the ribs back. Last one, knees come forward. And now hold here. Think of your pubic bone going higher than your 2 hip points and your ribs softening a little bit. All right, and now keep that position. Lower the heels down and then lift them up. So imagine you've got an actual flame underneath your seat right now. Do not let your hips lower down into that flame as you lower the heels. Keep those ribs soft for 2. Last one. Drop the head, round through the ribs. Find your tendon stretch here. And now just have a seat. All right, float the pedal up. Nice work. So standing now, facing your pedal, all 10 toes are pointing forward, parallel, hip socket distance, okay? So you're a few inches away from the base of the chair. We'll get it sorted here in a second. So I know it's a heavy spring, so you got to put a little bit of oomph into it. Reach the arms forward, find a strong straight arm. Go ahead and drop the head, round up and over, find the heel of your hand to the sides of your pedal. Sorry, to the ends of your pedal. And just go ahead and press the pedal down. Press it down to wherever you can. If you feel restricted here, you feel like you need to move your feet forward or back, do it. All right, now find your position with your feet and then just lift the pedal back up to where the springs close. Let's do that again. Pull the pedal apart, press it down, and now hold here. I want you to think of getting 50% of your weight in your legs and 50% of your weight in your arms. Let your body kind of figure that out. Now keep your 50-50 and now lift the pedal up, 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 and then press it back down. Center spine stays reaching up to the sky the whole time. Lift the pedal up, up, up. As you press it down, dig your heels into the floor, and then float the pedal back up. Last one. So the reason why I'm cueing the heels is because a lot of times, especially with a heavy spring, we shift into the toes and we don't even realize it. So hold here in this end range position. Your head is dropped, your ribs are lifted, we're puffing up the back, all the things, okay? So keep both legs straight. Can you lift your right foot up off the floor? Good, hold it. Can you keep lifting it up off the floor? So think of your right hip lifting up to the sky, and then place the foot down. Can you lift your left foot off the floor? Stabilizing the pedal as best you can. Lift the left hip up, 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 and then place it back down. Again, right foot lifts. Now, even though we don't have 4 points here, can you still get equal weight between your hands and your other foot right now? And then place the foot down. Left foot, lift it up, up, up. Place it back down. Anybody else feeling shoulders? Now pick your right foot up. Just hover it there for a second. Okay. Try to keep your body square and now float your right leg out to the side and then bring it back in. Float the right leg out to the side and bring it back in. Try your best to keep your left hip over your left foot. Foot is flexed, both feet. For 3, check your neck. 2, and last one, place the foot down, other side. Pick the left foot up. Stretch it away from your midline and back to center. Again, check your neck. Still lifting up through the center spine. Tailbone is still dropped. Woo! This heavy spring is getting my arms right now. Let's do 3. Lead with that outer edge of the heel. 2, and last one, place the foot down. All right, recenter yourself, float the pedal up, take your arms off, reach them forward, and then stack your spine all the way up. Awesome work. All right, so inching a little bit closer if you had to step away. So I maybe have 2-3 inches from the base to my big toes. Again, feel free to readjust. I'm gonna go right into taking my hands behind my head. Think of half of your fingers being on your neck, half of your fingers being on your skull. Okay, so there's that kind of tractioning up and back. All right, so I'm gonna keep growing tall. My tailbone is dropped, my ribs are in. And now shift weight into your left foot, lift your right leg up and just hold. All I want you to do is just find balance. See if you can maybe tap the pedal with your toes and then place the foot back down. Think of pushing the floor away with your right foot. Left knee comes up. Find the pedal with your toes if you can, and then place the foot back down. All right. Right knee comes up. Find the pedal and just hold here. Think already of that right hip drawing down to your left inner thigh, and your right heel is somewhat lifted. And now pull the pedal into you as you press it down and then hold here again, okay? Can you get 50% of your weight into your front leg and your back leg? Find it. Keep that back heel down though. Now keep the 50-50 and now float the pedal up and then pull it into as you press it down. Takes a lot of focus here. Think of there being a long line from your head to your back, to your tailbone, to your heel. Now, because we have the 50-50 here, you have to pitch forward a little bit. It's almost as if you were just about to catapult yourself up and over this chair. Now, go ahead and press it down. Keep the pedal down. Keep lifting up tall. And now lower your right heel down and then lift it up. Lower the right heel down and lift it up. Remember, it is a flex and then a point. We flex and we point. Last one, flex and point. Hold here. Pedal stays down, hip stays still. Twist your body to the right and then back to center. Lift and twist to the right and back to center. All right. If arms start getting tired, you can always lower them down. They can always come out to the side. You know, we have choices here. Now, all right, now as we twist, can you lift the pedal up, keeping your 50-50? Take it slow if you need, and then back to center, press the pedal down. Pedal lifts, upper body twist. Feel like your thighs are spiraling in towards one another. Woo! Twist. And then back to center. One more time, because boy, oh boy, this feels good. Twist. And then back to center. Press the pedal down, reach your arms forward, round up and over, take your hands to the back edge of your chair. If you're more on the petite side, have your hands closer to the front edge of the chair, okay? Step both feet on, heels together, toes apart, all 10 toes are on, okay? Now, from here, can you find 50% of your weight in your arms and 50% of your weight in your legs? Let's just play around with that. All right, okay. Now keep your 50-50, drop your head, puff up the back. Drive your heels down and then lift your heels up. What I find a lot of times here with people, we want to shift back, but here I feel like I've got more 80% in my legs, 20% in my arms. So just take note of how that feels. Last one. Now lift your heels up, keep the hug of the back of the legs. And now, can you still keep your 50-50 and try to float the pedal up just 1 inch? Just 1 inch. Hold it, and then lower back down, all right? So I had to shift my weight forward a little bit. That's okay, right? My goal for now is my 50-50. So let's do that again. Round through the ribs, and now lift it up 1 inch. 1 inch hold, and then lower back down. Ooh, that 1 inch is tough. Lift up through your center spine. Last one here like this. Lift up 1 inch. Hold, and then back down. Okay. Whew. So now we lift the pedal up all the way, and we're going to come back down to that 1 inch hover. So find your best 50-50 today. Float the pedal up with your center spine. Create as much space between your chest and your hands as you can. Hold at the top. Lower the pedal down to that 1 inch hover, and then lift the pedal right back up, curling your pubic bone to your navel. Lower it down, keep lifting up through the ribs, and then lift the pedal up. Again, keep working that 50-50 the best you can. And then lower it down. Separate the heels. Step your right foot down to the floor. In that parallel hip socket distance apart. Can you lift your left heel up? Think of your right hip spiraling forward, left hip spiraling back. Pedal stays down. Stand up. All right, we're right to the other side. Hands behind your head or whatever arm position you're picking today. Find your 50-50 here. And now float the pedal up. Ooh, way harder on this side. And then push the pedal down. And your first few reps, It might be like, oh, I got to shift back. I have to shift here. I have to shift there. It's like your time to like just figure things out. It's your time for your body to go, wait, what are we doing? What's happening? Keep that head to hand connection. And even if your arms or your hands aren't behind your head, still think of that head to hand connection, just like we did seated. Ooh, that left calf muscle is really shaking right now. Remember to think of pulling the pedal into you and back. There's your footwork from the reformer. Let's do 2. Keep that back heel down. Last one, press it down, hold here. Pedal stays down. We lower the heel. We lift the heel. We lower the heel. We lift the heel. Make sure your hips aren't hiking. So if you need, hands maybe come to your hips. Each time that heel lifts, I want you to think of pushing the pedal behind you. Now, lift your heel up high, pedal stays down. We twist our upper body to the left, lift, 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 and then back to center. Lift and twist to the left. Your legs also should feel like a pair of scissors. Front legs pulling back, right legs pulling forward. And then when you're ready, pedal can lift as we twist, and then back to center, push the pedal down. Oh, this left leg is shaking. And then back to center. Ooh, think of those ribs softening more as you twist. And back to center. This leg is shaking. Ooh, twist. Back to center. 2 more. Lift, lift, lift. Back to center. Last one. It's just so funny because you can't really control it. Press it down. Beautiful. All right. So from here, just float the pedal up. And go ahead and take your foot down and then shake it out. So coming to the side of your chair, meaning my back edge of my chair is closer to my left leg, okay? Just so I can face you to start. So I'm gonna start with my right leg in line with the base of the chair, and my left foot is just to the side, hip socket distance, okay? So feel free to readjust here. I'm gonna place my hands on my hips to start, okay? And I'm just gonna place my right foot onto the pedal. And I'm standing pretty close to the chair. I'm not super far back, all right? So all I want you to do is just press the pedal down. Let's press it down, get our feet situated here, get our hips as square as we can get them. And now, again, can you find 50-50? All right, all 10 toes are still pointing forward. My whole right foot is onto the pedal, all right? And now keep your 50-50. Ooh, this one's harder. And now float the pedal up. When you float the pedal up, I want you to allow that right knee and thigh to cross the body while staying square in the hips. And then press it down. Ooh, way harder. And then press it down. Again, I always chalk up those first few reps to like just the body figuring it out and working out all the wobbles. Now that left leg is strong. You've got a tripod connection down through the foot. And there's that slight pitch forward because we're trying to keep the 50-50. Okay, last one. We're gonna build on this. Go ahead and press the pedal down. Step your left foot up on top of the chair. So I'm gonna try to get my feet as parallel as I possibly can. Okay, and I'm gonna shift my right foot back a little bit to where my heel's hanging off. Feel free to readjust. I'm gonna take my hands underneath the chair here, okay? And I'm gonna push into that left foot so much, all right? I mean, really, really think of imprinting the foot into the pad there. And now drop your head, hold on for dear life. All I want you to do is try to straighten your left leg, lift the pedal up. Lift the pedal up, lift the pedal up. Now hold here at the top. Try your best to push into that left foot, all while pulling with your arms to deepen the stretch. And now press the pedal down, down. down. And I made a mistake. I got ahead of myself. Keep your whole right foot down on the pedal to start. We're going to get into a heel lift later. So let's do that again. So we kind of did this with our standing press down on the floor. And then lower back down. 2 more here. Push into that left foot. Think left hip going back, right hip going forward a little bit more. Ooh, that stretches deep, but it's starting to burn. Last one. Head drops, ribs lift. And now lower the pedal down about halfway to where you feel like your left thigh is somewhat parallel to the floor. Now, could you take your hands off the chair? Maybe reach them forward. Now I want you to lift your right heel up. You're going to bend that knee and push the pedal away. Think of pushing the pedal to the right, to the right. Arms can come up lifted if you'd like. And dig into that left heel for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the pedal all the way down. Holy cannoli, hands come down. So take your hands into that start position. And now make sure the whole right foot is onto the pedal, still with toes forward. I'm now going to hook my left foot around my right foot, or snake, okay? So depending on your chair size, your left knee might hit the chair. Just do what you got to do to get it out of the way, all right? So same hand position, drop your head. Try to square your hips off to the wall in front of you, or like me to the camera. Now, can you try to float the pedal up? Float the pedal up, 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 and then lower the pedal back down. Now let's play around with that 50-50 here. For me, it's definitely more into my arms. Push into those arms. A couple more here. For 3, 2 more. 2. Last one. Lower the pedal down. That was nice. All right, step your foot back to your start position. Keep the pedal down. Come up standing. Find that 50-50. Noticing a theme here for class. And then float the pedal up with control. And let's do the other side. Oh, okay. Left foot in line with the base of the chair. Pretty close. All right, left foot on. Let's press it down. Now, I know I had my hands on my hips for that last set. If you want to take the arms out, hands behind the head, right, you do. You do you. So find your 50-50 first. Woo. And now can you float the pedal up? This is really challenging for me today. And then push the pedal down. Oh. And like I said at the beginning of class, if you need to adjust springs, adjust springs. And for me on this side, I have to think of my left hip going back, especially as the pedal comes up. This is definitely my tighter side. So my hip really wants to go with the knee. And even though the pedal is kind of a funky shaped, you're still thinking of kind of equal weight into all corners of that left foot. And we're still growing tall, of course. Let's do 3. I feel like my body's starting to figure this out. And 2, there's my hip. And last one, press it down, step your right foot up. Try your best to get all 10 toes pointing forward. Hands come onto the underside of the chair. Drop your head, round into the ribs. And now try to straighten your right leg. Push, push, push into that chair, and then lower the pedal down. So as the right leg is pushing, upper body's pulling. So you're creating your own resistance, but the stretch should also feel good. At least it does for me. Keep lifting those ribs off of the thigh, just like we do for mountain climbers. Last one. Lower the pedal down halfway. All right, can you take your hands off of the chair? Maybe they just get a little bit lighter. And now we lift that heel up and we pump that pedal. So how stable can you keep that right leg while that left leg pumps and pumps? Arms can be wherever you like. Oh my goodness, my right thigh's on fire. Fire, fire. 3, 2, 1. Press it down. Holy cannoli. Hands come back to that start position. Hook your right foot around your left foot. Okie dokie. We drop the head. Can you find 50-50 here between arms and legs? So freaking tough. And now try to lift the pedal up, 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 and then lower the pedal back down. Try not to bottom out. So go to where you can find a range where you're not really resting anywhere. This side, I have to think of that right hip kind of coming in between my arms. Woo! Let's do 3. Hang in there, y'all. And 2. And last one. Paddle comes down. Whew. Right foot comes down to that start position. Pedal stays down. Stack your spine all the way up. Float the pedal up with control. All the way up. And then go ahead and take the foot off. Nice work. Shake it out. Okay, so one more thing on these heavy springs, okay? We're gonna have a seat on the chair, all right? Everybody awake yet? Everybody warm? Hands are gonna come onto the front edge of the pedal. All 10 toes come onto the pedal. Heels together, toes apart, okay? So pedal's gonna go all the way down to start. I'm already gonna think of elbows spiraling in so my chest can kind of come open, all right? I'm gonna shift my hips off the chair so my arms are now straight, and I'm thinking of the chest lifting up to the sky, right? That comes from the push down into the arms. Now keep the length on the sides of your neck, and now bend your elbows narrow, and then press yourself back up. Use your legs to help you. We're kind of throwing the 50-50 rule out here. And we're really trying to just shift as much weight into our arms right now as we can. Let's do 3. Elbows pinned back. 2. Last one. Press it up. Shift your hips back. I got to just wipe off my hands real quick. All right, hands come on. Okay, so hip shift back off, hold here. Arms are straight. From here, can you lift the pedal up 1 inch and then press it down? Lift it up 1 inch and press it down. These little lifts, think of shifting that 50-50 here. So hard, especially depending on your chair. Now, I want you to pull the pedal up to your booty. All right, heels are high, and you're pushing that pedal back towards the chair. Now, pedal's gonna move with you. Bend the elbows, and then straighten the arms. So think of keeping that space between your heels and your booty the same the whole time. For 3, woo, and 2. These are tough today. Last one, press it up. I gotta shake out the hands, wipe off the hands. All right, hold here with me at the top. Arms are straight, pedals pulled all the way up if you can. Now push the pedal all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. You got it. For 2, 1. Now hold the pedal at that 1 inch hover. Can you keep the pedal there? Pull your hips back, 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 straighten your legs. Can you find your tendon stretch here? Keep the pedal at the 1 inch hover. Knees come forward. Back to that start position. Woo, pedal dropped. Pedal stays still. Hips come back. Woo, can you straighten your legs at the top? You gotta push into the arms, you gotta push into the arms. One more time, knees come forward. Back to that start position. Hello, shoulders. Hello, things. Stabilize that pedal. Stabilize it. Straighten the legs. Try to get it. Try to get it. Try to get it. And then have a seat. Woo, and shake it out. It's so much fun, though. To try and figure that out. So much fun. All right. We're done with our heavy springs. let's come to one in the middle. So wherever you're at with your springs, like if you have an exo chair, leave it on the one from the top, and I have it on the one in the middle. So coming down to one spring now. So here's where I want you to find a position with the chair where you're about a straight legs distance away. Might take some finagling, so let's kind of figure this out here. So straight leg distance, meaning we're going to find our swan position. So my hands are underneath my shoulders, and then I'm going to try to connect my whole foot, both feet, to the wall. It's really tough because we're going to end up more so being on your toes or on the balls of your feet. All right, so go ahead and find that position. And if you're having too much trouble with this, like finding the best position, it's okay if your feet are not on the wall for this one, all right? So I'm gonna try to get my legs razor straight, and I'm gonna push my feet into the wall, okay? So when I do that, I'm gonna feel like my pelvis is driving down into the mat. My chest is coming forward, my arms are straight. I'm starting to pull the pedal into me like chest expansion. I'm just gonna hold here, okay? Just hold. Now lift the pedal up 1 inch and hold here. I want everybody to think of your ribs lifting up away from the floor. You're trying to create as much space between your hands and your chest as you can. Now, the legs are gonna stay straight. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling them like crazy right now. Crazy pants, okay? So ribs stay lifted up, and now lift the pedal up with straight arms. There's a point where you're like, okay, I can't really go any further without moving my legs or my feet. That's the point where I want you to push the chest forward. Push the chest forward. Then maybe the pedal can lift up a little bit more. And then keep the lift of the ribs as the pedal comes down, but not all the way down, right? Again, we don't want to be resting completely at the bottom. So ribs lift, hollow out the belly. And again, there's a point where you're like, I can't go any further. Then the chest pushes forward. Chest rolls open. Shoulders roll open. Then the pedal can maybe lift up a little bit more. Ooh, got a little pop there. And as the pedal comes down, ribs lift up. Ooh, last one here. Push into your feet, especially the big balls of your feet. Tailbone long. Pubic bone lifting up to the navel. And then lower all the way down. Whoa, this is good stuff. All right, now lift the pedal up to that 1 to 2 inch hover. Lift the ribs. Keep pulling the pedal into as you bend the elbows and then straighten the arms. Bend the elbows and straighten the arms. Noisy springs today. Use the push back through your feet to keep lifting up through the ribs. Anybody else feel booty and legs right now? Last one. Press the pedal down, hold here, back to that 1 inch hover. Take your right arm out to the side and hold. Try to get level in your hips right now, meaning level weight in your hips. And then take the right hand down. Left arm goes out to the sky, or out to the side, sorry. Hold, keep lifting up through the ribs. I just felt my low back kick on a little bit. And then hand comes down. Again, right arm out, hold here. Think of opening up that wingspan with your right arm. Now lift the pedal up, push the chest forward. Right arm kind of pushes back behind you and then lower back down. Again, push the chest forward. Last one. Ooh, my left butt cheek is on fire right now. And then down, right hand down, left arm out to the side. Again, we're lifting the pedal up from lifting up through the ribs. Now there's that point where you feel like you can't go any further. Then the chest pushes forward. Left arm pushes back to open up the chest. And then we come back down. So you shouldn't be feeling pain in your low back. It should be like upper back, legs, maybe a little low back, but just no pain there. All right, let's do that again. Lift, 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 lift. And then come all the way down. Hand comes down. Whew. Float the pedal up. Take your feet down. Shake it out. Okay. Next one. I'm going to come onto my right hip so I can be facing you. Again, might take some finagling. I'm going to press the pedal down and I'm going to try to get both feet. This time I really want both soles of the feet up against the wall. Okay. So hips are stacked, feet or heels in line with my hips, in line with my ribs, in line with my arm, all the things. Okay, I can already tell this is gonna be tough. Left hand, I don't care what you do with it to start, but I want you to lift up through the bottom ribs, push into your feet, squeeze your inner thighs together. And now can you lift the pedal up 1 inch and hold? 1 inch and hold, that's it. And then lower back down. It's the lift of the ribs that lift the pedal. My left oblique just went bing, hello, and then lower back down. Lift the ribs, the bottom ribs, and then back down. Okay. Oh, my left booty's on fire. Now, you're gonna keep pushing through your feet. Now the pedal's gonna lift up that inch. Now can you lift it up even more? Even more, even more. Push through your bottom foot more. And then lengthen back out. I know, it's tough. It's small. Up and over, push through that bottom heel, and then lengthen back out. Again, up and over. And then back out. Last one. Inner thighs hug together. Lengthen back out to that 1 inch hover. Can you now take your top arm overhead? Whoo, hello, shake. And now, can you twist your body towards the floor, keeping the foot connection to the wall, and then square yourself back out. Whew. Twist your body towards the floor, reach, pull the pedal in, and then back to center one more time. Pull up through the ribs, and then back to center. And other side. Did anybody feel that? That was good. That was good stuff. We flip around. Every side's different. Pedal comes down. Feet up against the wall. Okay. Now, if you wanted to make this just insanely harder on yourself, you could bring the feet up higher than your two hips or higher than your hips. Ideally, they're in line with your hips. Okay, so get a good foot connection, top hand wherever. Lift up through your bottom ribs. Lift the pedal up 1 inch and then back down. Lift the ribs to lift the pedal. There it is. Lift the ribs to lift the pedal 1 inch and then back down. That is so tiny, but when you think of not just like, I'm just trying to lift the pedal, it's the ribs that are translating up to the sky. That's where I really feel my obliques kick on, okay? Now when you're ready, now we side bend up and over, push into that bottom leg, bottom foot, and then lengthen back out. Again, I don't care what you do with your arm right now, top arm I mean, and then lengthen back out. Again, up and over, lift the ribs, and then back out. Come up and over. Push into that bottom foot more, y'all, more. Woo! Focus on that bottom foot. Two more here. And back out. Last one. Sides of the neck long, y'all. And back out. Find that hover. Top arm comes up and over. So think bicep to the ear. Twist the body towards the floor. Lift up through the ribs, and then square yourself off. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Push into that wall. And back to center. Dang, these are tough. Twist. Keep your heels connected. Back to center. And then go ahead and float the pedal all the way up. Wow. That was really good. I should do those more. Okay. So now I'm going to come seated facing the wall. All right. And my hips are going to be at the very, very edge. Very, very edge. In fact, my sits bones are kind of hanging off here. Okay. So I'm going to place my feet up onto the wall, preferably to where they're straight. I'm going to try to go for straight. And I don't care if they're parallel or Pilates V, but I would like the legs hugging in together. Okay. So from here, I'm just going to walk my hands up my legs and just get a stretch. Maybe you can touch the toes, maybe you can touch the wall. Excuse me, but as I'm pushing my legs down into my hands, I'm thinking of my ribs pulling back and finding this equal rounding from my head all the way to my tail. All right. Now I'm going to keep the ribs pulling back. I'm going to release my right hand, reach it forward. I'm going to release my left hand, reach it forward. All right. Soften the shoulders maybe a little bit more. Now, try your best not to let your feet come away from the wall. So keep them pushing up against the wall. And now roll back already. They're coming with me. You know, all we can do is our best. Roll back, roll back, roll back. All right. Now, once you feel like, okay, I can't go any further, lady, hold it here. Think of your low abdomen pulling away from your thighs. And now keep that sensation as your chest comes forward, ribs come back. Chest come forward, ribs come back. Now from here, don't let the legs move. Might take off your pants, that's okay. And then roll yourself back again. Keep pushing your feet into the wall. Push your feet into the wall. Pull the ribs back as your chest comes forward. Pull the ribs back as your chest comes forward. Ooh! And then roll back to that challenge point here. All right. Take your left hand down to the pedal. Palm is facing in. That's what I like. I think it feels better. If you want to go fingertips facing in, you do you, okay? So I'm going to keep reaching my right arm forward to start. I'm going to straighten my left arm. I'm going to push the pedal down with stretching my waist. My feet stay up against the wall. And now pull the pedal into you as you lift up, up, up. Again, try to keep your body square here. Pull the ribs back as you come up, up, up. Last one. Come up, pull the pedal into, there's your long back arms. All right, left arm reaches forward. Right hand reaches back. Think of your right shoulder spiraling forward, left shoulder spiraling back. It's a stretch of the waist to push the pedal down. And now pull the pedal into, pull the belly back, pull the belly back. And it should feel like you have equal weight into both hips right now. Oh, I'm struggling on that one. Go up and over that beach ball, up and over. Last one. You got it. Find more length on the sides of your neck, up and over, up and over, up and over. Now take both hands to the pedal. All right. Now, legs are not going to come with you. Try. All right. Find that stretch of the arms. And now we roll back, roll back, roll back. Hold on your challenge point. Think of getting your low back into the mat. And now keep your low back into the mat, even if it's not there. And now lift the chest up. Think of coming up and over your stomach, up and over your stomach. Keep the low back into the mat and then press the pedal back down. Go up and over. I'm punching you right into your upper abdomen. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. And then back. Again, 2 more times. Up and over, up and over, up and over. Woo! I felt that. Pull those ribs back. Up and over, up and over. Now, lift the pedal all the way up. Reach your arms forward. Could you now float your left leg up? Could you float your right leg up? Find your teaser, find your teaser. And then go ahead and lower all the way down. That's good stuff. I need more of that in my life. I don't know about you, but teaser is my kryptonite. Teaser on the chair is my kryptonite. Oh, all right. So we're going to finish with cat. Yes, we're on a light spring. All right. If you need support from the wall, you can always scoot closer to the wall with your feet up against the wall. Okay. Because I'm assuming a lot of you don't have a spot sitting near you right now. So, but I really want to challenge you to try it without the wall, without assistance. Okay. So everything that we've done today, it's going to translate into this here. So we're going to come up kneeling. I want you to get as much of your shins on top of the chair as you possibly can. We're about hip socket distance apart. Okay. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to place my hands on the pedal. Okay. I'm going to round my spine. So my hips are back right now. My shins, push them down. Drop your head, puff up the back. Now, slowly start to shift 50% of your weight into your arms, 50% of your weight into your legs. And just play around with that. Now, and when you feel like you get to a point where you're like, ooh, I'm a little scared, push into your shins more. Push into your shins more. Now, once you feel like you've got 50-50 or your 50-50 today, pull the pedal apart so your collarbone's open. Lift up through the base of the ribs. Now, keep your 50-50. Lift the pedal up, 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 and then push the pedal down. Lift the pedal up. Keep dropping the tailbone. Keep dropping the tailbone. And then press it down. 2 more. Pull it into you. And then back down. You got this. 50-50. Pull it into you. Pull it into you. Come all the way up. Come all the way up. Shift your hips back. Come up to an active kneeling position. I hope the camera can see me right now. Okay, so I'm gonna drop my tailbone. I'm gonna think of my pubic bone coming forward, but also lifting up. Reach your arms forward. Find fist. Strong punching fist. Pull the arms down and back towards your feet. As your fists are going toward your feet, your chest is lifting up to the sky. Now turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head back to center. Arms reach forward. Let's do that again. Press the arms down and back, right? Think pull straps here. Press your pelvis forward. Push the shins down. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to center. Reach your arms forward. Wow. That was awesome today. For me anyways. I hope you had as much fun. I hope you felt some things. I hope it challenged you, maybe in some different ways. This was a lot of fun. Please let me know what you thought, what you felt in the comments. Maybe you tell me what you're feeling the next day. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks, y'all.